Alright everyone, it's time for performance test. We have the newly released OnePlus 12. Here it is with this nice white color. And also we have here on the table iPhone 15 Pro Max. And on the right side is Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And today we will compare which of these three is doing a better job in terms of performance and especially benchmarks. We will do some Antutu benchmark, Geekbench 6 and also 3D Mark Extreme Wildlife Stress Test to test the maximum of these three devices. Here on the iPhone we have the Apple A17 Pro CPU, which is the only one here, which is created by 3nm process. This one, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, is by 4nm process, and Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is 4nm process again. Also, we'll check the storage results. Both these devices, Samsung S23 Ultra and OnePlus 12, are using Android 14. This one is using HarmonyOS. Here we have 12 GB of RAM, which here we have 12 gigs of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage. And here we have 256 GB of internal storage and 8 GB of RAM. So these are the major differences. Automatic brightness is disabled for all these three devices and it's set around 70%. Here on the OnePlus 12 we have a performance mode, which I will try to enable now. Here in battery, more settings and high performance mode. And the most important here, guys, is I just received the new update. Let me show you. This is the new ColorOS 14 with Android 14 update, which I just received for that OnePlus 12, because before this update, it was a problem. This device can't even finish Antutu and 3D Mark benchmarks. All these three are running at same conditions. Of course, the screen resolution here is set for standard, which is not the highest, and here too, because other way it will not be fair for the iPhone, because here screen resolution, if I set it to QHD Plus, will be higher than the iPhones. That's why I will just leave at QHD Plus and we'll compare it like this. The only difference here is that performance mode is enabled on Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Now it's time for running the benchmark. In not talking, I will clean everything from recents. When I start, all the three devices are at 100%, and we'll check how the battery will decrease with these benchmarks. Without further ado, let's just start the test and check it. And now the test is started for the three devices. Yes, I know in the comments will be war again, and we'll start, everyone will comment that Antutu is not a cross-platform benchmark and I can't compare the results, but at least I can compare the results how far Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is over Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on Galaxy versus OnePlus 12. And of course we can compare is there any improvement on the iPhone. And just to mention that this iPhone is using iOS 17.3. And of course my friend temperature gun is here and I can check the temperatures for the three devices. You can see they are starting very cold. And we'll check at the end of the test. Let's leave them. And let's do some temperature test in the middle of the benchmark. iPhone is around 35 degrees. Let's check OnePlus. I hope they fix that thermal management because it was awful. Around 39 degrees, and S23 Ultra is, let's check it better, where exactly it should be the hottest spot. Anyway, it is around 36-37 degrees. So the hottest one is OnePlus 12. Of course, it's the powerful one. So let's leave it and check the results at the end. And here iPhone 15 Pro Max and Apple A17 Pro is already done with Antutu benchmark, and we have 1.5 million points for it. I will not directly compare the points because we already mentioned that Antutu is not a cross platform. But let's wait and see. Let's check the temperature of the iPhone, of course. I can say it's a cold device around 34-35 degrees, but that's not increased temperature. And here the points for OnePlus 12, they are more than 2 millions. Let's check the temperature, 41 and a half. That's a lot, but not so worse, because at least it finished the test. Before that it wasn't able to finish the test, but now it is. We have a 2% drop in terms of battery. We have a temperature increased by around 12 degrees. It's showing 37.1, but we know that's not true. Let's check now the temperature on the Galaxy. Around 37 degrees for it, so the hottest one again is OnePlus 12. Here the result is very similar to the one on the iPhone. We don't have much information here, but we have a battery drop 2%. Here we have 94% battery, so it is 6% drop. We have 2% here. A storage test. We'll check which of these three devices has the fastest storage. So it will test sequence read, sequence write, random access, and we'll check the results. Let's start it. And they are ready. You can see the results. The highest result again is coming from OnePlus 12. Sequence read is very fast. We have here sequence write. Again, it is fast, but not fast as Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And random access point, it is almost double of this. Here on the iPhone, very low result. We have here UFS 4 storage for S23 Ultra, and for the OnePlus, we know that here the storage type is NVMe. Probably the storage on the iPhone is not as fast as they advertise it. And we can move to the next test, which will be Geekbench 6. I personally don't like Geekbench 6 because it always gives advantage for iPhone, but let's compare the results now, and this is cross-platform benchmark, and we can directly compare the results. Guys, keep in mind that this OnePlus 12 is a Chinese version. None of these devices use a SIM card in it. They are connected only to Wi-Fi networks. So, without further ado, let's just run CPU benchmark of Geekbench 6. And iPhone is already done with this Geekbench 6. We can see the results around 31. We wait for the others, but we can see that OnePlus 12 obviously has some problems with this Geekbench 6. Uploading the results, and let's wait a minute. Yes, we are ready. Let's check the temperature. Around 31, which is not hot at all. Here we can see the results. Again, single core is slower than the iPhone, and multi-core is smashing on the iPhone. But we know Geekbench 6 always give advantage to iPhone, so I'm probably in comments people will start comment about that, but for me Geekbench 6 is not relevant for every device. So let's wait OnePlus 12 and see the end result. Whoa, this was unexpected. I'm not sure what exactly happens here, but probably this ColorOS 14 and OnePlus 12 is not very optimized, because you can see the results are very low. I will try to run the test one more time after everything is finished, and you can see the device is cool, it is not hot anymore. And now that's the result. Probably this is the result we were expecting, and it is still lower than the iOS and Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max, but I already speak about Geekbench 6. Probably the first one, there was a problem. I'm not sure what exactly. This is the first update for this device, so probably there is still optimizations coming to make it better, smoother, and so on, but the results are good for Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So all the three are pointed to wildlife extreme stress test. Here too, and here we have it too. What's written about this wildlife extreme stress test is a demanding 20-minute test that shows how the device performs under longer periods of heavy load. Instead of producing single score, the main result from the stress test is a chart showing how the device managed performance and heat during heavy use. So we can test them and see that chart at the end of the video. OnePlus is with 25, another degree down. Here we have 24, and here we have 22, 23 degrees for iPhone, and it is the coolest one. Through the whole test, iPhone is the coolest one. Now guys, I think the temperatures are low enough. They are around 24 degrees, all of the three devices, so we can start this test and see the result after 20 minutes. Even from the start, we can see that the FPSs here are around 36, 37 from the first loop. So here on the OnePlus and Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 we have highest FPS than the S23 Ultra, but we'll see how this will end. Again, quick temperature test in the middle of benchmark. We have around 38 degrees for iPhone. Here we have around, on the OnePlus 12 is the hottest again, around 32.5, and here on the Galaxy we have again around 31 degree. So these are the temperatures. Let's leave the device to finish the test. Let's check the temperatures. Not bad at all for OnePlus, around 41, 42. Here on the Galaxy we have almost the same temperature, around 41.5, and here on the iPhone it's not finished, but we'll finish the test every moment, around 38 degrees, 39.5, around 40 again. So not a bad performance from every device. Now here comes the truth. Here we can see stability rating on OnePlus 12 is 55.3%. Here we have 72.5, which is very stable result, and here we have 66.9, almost 67. You can see best loop score here on OnePlus 12 is almost 5,000, which is very high result, and the lowest one is almost lowest, and the one on the iPhone around 2,700, and here it is a little bit lower. So what does exactly mean these results here? Let's check the stress test, the graph. So you can see what's happened with OnePlus 12 and Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It is start almost 5,000 when it was the first loop, and it was start dropping and throttling to the fourth loop, and there the throttle, it is stable at the fifth loop, and it is the performance is a little bit increased around 307 around 3700, and it is almost smooth until 11th loop. After that, again performance drop, and just straight to the end, which was around 2700. Here, what's happened with the iPhone? After the first loop, the CPU directly throttles to 2700 and stays stable till the end. This is not a good result. Remember my words, because it is stable. It is the stable device of the three, but after the first loop, the CPU directly throttles with 1000 score and just continue to the end. So this speaks that the CPU is limited, the power of the CPU is limited, and when it's dropped after the first loop, it is stay dropped without going higher anymore. What's happened here on the Galaxy? Let's comment the result here again. It is start almost with the same result as the iPhone starts, around 3800, and directly start dropping. Not as iPhone, directly with 1000 scores, but it is start dropping consistently till the end. Every loop is dropping consistent till the end. But the important thing here is how powerful is the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, because you can see it is more than 4000 for 3 loops. And after that, when it drops on the fourth loop, it's dropped to 3200. It is still more than this, and keeps like this for here. It is increased again on loop 6 and 7, and increased until it comes to 13 loop. Then it drops to the points of the iPhone, 2700. This is, and after that, the result is almost consistent till the end. So what's happened here? Galaxy, I think this is the most stable CPU because it is dropping consistently from start to end. Just it is a little bit dropping with every loop, dropping a little bit, but not a major drop like here on the iPhone. It is just directly cutted the performance of the CPU after the first loop, and that was it. Till the end, low result. And the stability rating is high, but this is what I was speaking for. That measurement, that statistic, it's not correct for me. Here is the performance range graph. This is the difference, the biggest difference between the highest loop and the lowest loop. You can see, of course, for the iPhone, the highest loop for every phone, the highest loop will be the first. After that, it starts dropping, and you can see the gap between the loops. Frame rates here are going from 11 to 31. Here they are going from 13 to 36. This is higher frame rates, and here they are going from 11 to 28. So in terms of FPS, Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 wins, of course. And these are the results, guys. You can leave your comment down in the comment section and let me know if you want to know something or how can I improve these tests. And of course, thanks for watching and have a nice day.